Okay, today is January 31, 2024. This is the meeting of the Kubernetes storage, this is the meeting of the Container Storage Interface Community. So we'll go ahead and kick it off. Shing, do you want to repeat the first agenda item?
Yeah, I just want to see what is the status of the CPT PR in the CSI spec repo. Ben, do you know?
I reviewed it and put a LGTM on it last week.
Oh, okay.
So yeah,
So,
I did my part. We need to get James. We need to find a way to get James to take one last look at it, I think. So I don't know. I don't know how that was triggered last time, Saad. I don't know if you reached out to him or Carl reached out to
Yeah, I think
him.
we have an email thread going. Shing, do you
So
want to
yeah,
poke on that email thread?
okay, yeah, I will find that email thread. I just signed him a reminder, and hopefully he can take another look.
Awesome. Yeah, once that's done, I think we can go ahead and merge it, and then depending on if there's any other pending changes, we can decide if we want to cut or wait to cut.
Okay, yeah.
but I think that would depend on whether the KEP also merges, which I think we're working on making that happen too. If the KEP doesn't merge, then that would reduce the urgency for doing a release, probably.
I think we should still go ahead, right? Because this things takes so long. Because for the cap, we can actually go auto tree, right? Track auto tree, so we don't have to follow this. We have that deadline cap freeze by 8th of February, but because everything we do is auto tree, we actually don't have to follow that deadline, right? I think it's unlikely we can get it merged by that deadline, to be honest.
Well, but if we do a new CSI release, doesn't that generate Kubernetes work to update the CSI release for no benefit? Like, I guess what I'm asking is, the out of tree work, does that require a CSI release, or can it
Yeah,
proceed based on what's in master?
no, oh, okay, I see what your question. Yeah, so we actually don't really need to update the KK, right? Because everything is it's only the sidecars will be consuming
Yes.
it. So we are
Yeah.
saying,
So I'm
oh,
saying we can merge it to master. The out of tree work could proceed, and if we don't actually cut a release, and we're not generating any additional work for Kubernetes or the sidecars to update to that release, because there would be no benefit for them. And then we could do the release later on when the KEP actually merged and we wanted to pull the feature into some more official state. Or maybe a release happens for a different reason and it just comes along for the ride. But we certainly don't want to like be doing gratuitous releases.
Yeah, +1 to that. That makes sense to me.
okay. So we can kind of hold it off, right? It's don't have to release it right away. And okay.
I'm thinking we should
Mm.
know why we're doing the release. We should know who's going to consume it at the end of the day. And if the answer is just some out of tree sidecars, maybe they can work off the master branch and it's fine.
But auto tree, but that still need to have a bump. Otherwise they can't even pass the CI, right? I mean, like the sidecars uses it. Sidecar needs to use
As
it.
long as it's merged, you can get
Uh,
imported. You can get
we use
import from
the
master, and you're good to go.
well, we always use a version. We don't just use latest. I don't think we ever use the latest.
For released code, yeah, but for a experimental sidecar, why couldn't it use version 0.0?
We haven't have done that before.
Okay, I mean,
Yeah, we can try that. We
I
normally just have like a release version. We never do like latest or something like that.
right for
Mhm.
when we're ready to release it to
Mhm.
the general public. But as I'm saying, as long as it's an experiment,
Well, yeah, actually that's one thing we have not completely decided, right? I know we had that big discussion in 6:30 meeting on this extra, do we have a separate. So
I think the triggering decision is when the KEP merges. That's when it ceases being some experiment and it becomes something the Kubernetes community waits behind. And
I
that's
see
when
what you're
you
saying.
that's when you do the release, and that's when
Okay.
you say, okay, this is the thing that we're putting out there. This is our alpha. Until you
Okay,
reach
yeah,
that
that's
milestone, like
fine.
you
We
just
can, yeah.
develop.
We can, yeah, that's fine. We can wait for the cap merge, definitely. That's fine, yeah.
Okay. So Shing, are you gonna dig up that email thread and poke James? Do I need to go?
Just to ping him, yeah, and see if he get back. I'll try.
I mean, you can mention that Ben has approved the
Okay.
PR
Okay.
and that now we're waiting for him.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah, I can also do it. I just need to find that thread. I don't know how far back I have to dig.
Okay. Yeah, I will ping you maybe once I find it. Maybe it's actually better that you ping him. I think
Okay.
you just
Yeah,
reviewed.
if you know the date or like the title, that I can search through my mail and find the thread. Maybe I can just search for James's name and find it that
just
way.
search his name. I just don't know the date. It's been a while.
Okay. Then I'll take the action to
Okay.
find the thread and poke James and move it forward. Anything else on the CBT topic?
I think that's it, right? Basically just trying to get that CSI spec PR merged. That will be a big milestone if we can get it merged.
Yeah, that would be like aside from that, and it's the group snapshot stuff is the other sort of big thing that we've got going on. Those are the two initiatives that this group is responsible for. I wonder if are there any like small nitpick type PRs that we should be going through and reviewing and merging? Do either of you comb through the CSI spec repo PRs? Because every now and then someone will come and try to fix something minor.
Right.
Give it the attention it
There's some
deserves.
bugs. There's some issues with the CI, right? I don't know.
There was an issue with the make file
Mm-hmm.
not updating the I don't remember the context, but the auto-generated code was sort of like getting out of sync.
Mm-hmm.
And I never got to the bottom of it. I mean, I think that's something we definitely need to fix, but I was just referring to, giving attention to all the other small PRs that are out there.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know if we want to like schedule some time to go through them as a group or have someone, I think it used to happen more organically, and now we're all very busy and it just doesn't happen. And so we have people who show up, they see a problem, they try to fix it, and then they walk away because no one responds. And that's not great.
Yeah, it's a good point, Ben. We can do it right now if you want, together, if you guys have time.
I need to go grab a laptop, but
Sure.
I'm willing to do that.
Okay.
All right,
Feel free to do that, and I'll go ahead.
2 minutes.
Sounds good.
Right, laptop is booting up. Assad, are you driving? Assad, I can't hear you, or I can't hear anyone.
Oh,
My phone die.
about that?
Oh, there we go.
Yep.
Okay.
I can drive here. We've got 25 open PRs, and we can go through these one by one. So the top one here is update proxy and related. I think this was bumping a bunch.
Proto C, yeah. This is the one that was related to the auto-generated code not coming out right.
I see. Have you taken a look at this one, Ben?
I started reading through the comment thread, and it sounded like the someone had figured out what the problem was, so I stopped reading, but then I don't think it went anywhere, so we probably need to jump on it. So sorry, my laptop just finished starting up.
Yeah, no
I'm
worries.
going to container storage interface. Pull requests, privacy and related. Okay. All right, I'm here. All right, so yeah, you asked the contributor to sign the CLA.
Yeah, I need to
Did
follow up on that.
James made a comment in December about breaking API changes. Oh, this is so this is because we're deploying in a new version of Proto C, and he's worried about breaking something that's not backwards compatible. Okay, and the contributor responded back, and then it went quiet December 10th. So this has been sitting here for about 6 weeks, no progress.
Yeah, how do we want to proceed on this one?
Well, I believe this is a real problem, right? Because the issue is, okay, the issue number fixes 471 is the issue. This was filed by, come on, oh my gosh, this is an ancient one. Build is broken with Go 116. So is this just related to new versions of Go? Now I'm not so confident that this is the. Okay, it's a GitHub action issue where when you submit the code to GitHub, it's not running the action. And that's the source of the problem. Okay, so let me look. Yeah, I guess let's just review the change and see if this looks right.
Okay.
Although I'm wondering what is our QA process for changes to spec like this, where it's not just words, but it's implementation. Like if this change was broken, how would we know?
There is checks that run on the PR. So the build test at the bottom here. I guess this one's old enough that the logs are gone, but it was green.
Okay, but all this is doing is running the Proto C compiler and making sure that the Go file that gets generated is the same as the one that's being submitted.
Yeah, that's my understanding.
Okay. All right. So this is going to update that. But we know it's already broken, so it can't really get worse. So yeah, let's just review it and merge it if we don't see any problems. So I'm looking at. So I'm sorry, I'm not in the Zoom meeting on my laptop. How do I get in the Zoom meeting on my laptop?
Do you have the calendar invite?
Oh, maybe I do. That's a good look. There we go. Yeah, it's right there in the calendar invite. Duh. Verify I'm not a robot.
This meeting is being recorded.
Oh wait, no, don't join audio, don't join video. Okay, just the screen. All right, so you got the diff up.
Yep.
Okay, so this build.yaml, this is the get action. So he's removing some makes, and then he's Oh, I see. So he's putting an export go path in front of the make, changing directory and then running make instead of running these 4 make commands. Do you have any of the history here with how this actually works? It seems like a consequential change.
Yeah. I do not. I think this would most familiar with this is James.
Yeah. It looks like he's using an entirely different technique for doing the build. I'm
Yeah.
wondering if there's something about the old way that just couldn't be adapted. But I'm nervous about saying like, yeah, this is the right way.
Yeah.
Okay, then in the make file, take out that file, take out the build rule, replace it with check build CVP build go. Done a lot of surgery to the make file. And I don't know how well. I guess you could test this by running local builds, but you can't test the GitHub action itself without merging it and letting GitHub do its thing.
Yep.
So we could optimistically merge it and see if it solves the underlying problem, and then if it doesn't, revert it.
Yeah. That seems reasonable.
Okay. So on the CSI proto, he's what is the Go package? Oh, I see. He's just expanding to the full package name. This must be a proto C change. It now needs a fully qualified name.
I see.
It seems harmless. I mean that's the correct path. So
Yep.
the Go mod, it's just removing old protobuf. And then in the Go make file, we're
do we need to have
updating.
do we need to have 2 protobuf? There's the old one still there. The line
This one here.
5. Do we need
Yep.
to get rid? What is that? So that's like a front goal. We should need both, right?
We'd have to see what breaks if you remove it.
I remember someone saying some maybe one of this is deprecated, right? But I need to check exactly what that is.
But weirdly, like none of these version numbers match the version numbers we see down below in the next file. It's like I don't understand where these version numbers are coming from. What's 391? What's 24.3? I mean, I get that we need to update to a newer version, but is this the right version? How do we know? When I see someone added ARM support. Or ARM 64, I guess, because ARM support was already there. Or was it? And maybe it wasn't. Okay, so we're pulling protobuf from a different GitHub. Do we know that that's the right GitHub to pull from? Protocol buffers. Is that an official thing? Are you on mute again, Sod? I can't hear anything.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Okay, so the official repo changed.
Yeah.
Okay, so that seems safe. Okay, then we're removing a makedir and replacing it with go install. Oh, and the makedir is still there. He just prefixed it with a couple of go installs. I'm guessing it's a bunch of dead code that got removed. So this is just a massive amount of surgery to fix what is allegedly a small problem. So
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
puzzled. But I also, I mean, I'm afraid that if we don't try to do something, like unless someone wants to try to fix this, other than this guy who's what's his name? Who something? It's nice to have a volunteer come and try to fix this for us, but if James is the only one that understands it, and he's not going to fix it. Like I'm worried about just leaving it broken, and I'm worried about merging something this complex without some understanding of why it's safe to just remove all this code and replace it with brand new stuff.
I wonder if we should ask them to break down the change into multiple PRs.
Yeah, if the submitter is willing to do that.
Put a comment.
Minus 7,000 or plus 7,000 lines, minus 4,000 lines is a huge. Oh, that's probably because there was some auto-generated stuff that got changed. But yeah, I would really like to see this get resolved, but it seems like a huge change, and we don't have James to review it, and the submitter is, I'm gonna hypothesize they're probably on the other side of the world in a time zone that makes it impossible for them to come to this meeting.
Yep. Yep.
So I just verified that that package is deprecated. So we shouldn't have both there because he added a new one, but he still kept the old one there.
Yeah, that could just be an oversight. It probably is harmless to leave it in, but we can have it removed.
Okay. So I think next steps here are if they can break down the PR further or attend the CSI community meeting to walk us through the changes.
Yeah, that's a good suggestion if it's possible for him to do that.
Okay, let's see where that goes. Next one. Added snapshot metadata service.
That's the CBT stuff.
Oh yes, okay. So
Yeah.
let's back out of that one.
That one's got plenty of work.
Next we have bumping gRPC versions.
Those are probably automatic changes, right? Bot.
Is this Dependabot?
Yeah, Dependabot did it.
It is, yes.
Wow, I didn't know Dependabot worked on this repo.
I think it was enabled for some time and then got disabled. So
this is almost a year ago.
yeah, never got merged, and so it's out of date now. We can re-enable Dependabot.
So what is it actually doing? How does it? Is it just pushing everything to the latest?
Yeah, it looks like it.
Yeah, we have that enabled on all the CSI sidecar repos.
Yeah. I'm just trying to understand how it decides when to update and what to update. If it
Yeah,
just goes
sounds
through
like it's
everything.
just like whenever there's a new version, it will just try to submit it.
Because you don't always want that, right? I mean, blind
right. So you
upgrades,
still
blind
need to
upgrades are
check.
not
Mhm.
the right way
Yeah.
to do things.
So
And it seems like it's using the old protobuf repo, right? So GitHub Golang protobuf is no longer the best repo to pull protobuf from, as we saw from that other change. So
Yep.
like this, more surgery is probably needed before we update the
Dependabot.
dependencies.
That makes sense.
But,
Okay, I'm gonna leave that one as is for now. Then you got update spec doc for group controller service.
oh yeah, this is Carl Laurie. I don't know what his real name is. He was trying to fix a bunch of wording, and we had a long conversation. And we also updated the ASCII art, didn't we?
Yep.
He actually came to one of our meetings and tried to explain what his thinking was.
I see.
you're right. I remember he was here one time, right? Yeah. Ben, did you also add some? Yeah, okay. You also had some comments, right? Yeah, I remember you had.
Yeah, I reviewed this one.
Mhm.
I don't know if you ever responded to my feedback. Okay.
There we go.
Yeah, this was back in October. Xing, you weighed in as well.
Yeah, we need to take another look. It's been a while.
Okay. Yeah, well, and there was, I think down at the bottom, there was a consequential discussion about broken or partial snapshots. So the underlying problem is that, you know, for a individual volume snapshot, we never handled the broken case because we're like, well, if the snapshot was not successful, you just return an error and you have no snapshot. But then if you have a group snapshot, there is a possibility that like 9 out of 10 snapshots are totally good. And it's just the 10th one that's broken. So what do you do?
Yep.
Do you say, well, we didn't get 100%, so we're going to delete all the snapshots and now they're gone, even though the user might have not wanted that? We never reached a conclusion on that, Xing. So what is the
This is supposed to be a consistent group snapshot. So if you, so it's like you either get everything successful or you don't get anything, right? So otherwise, what do you mean? Then it's not a consistent group snapshot, right? You only have 9 successful, but 1 failed, then it's not usable if we call this consistent group snapshot. So are you saying you want them to keep it while we returns failure? Well, keep those in, but then what does that mean? How are they going to be able to even manage those? We don't allow them.
I'm trying to find the comment that I was responding to, because how do we mark the snapshot as broken or partial?
I remember we were saying that.
Oh, you asked that question. Okay, so
okay,
here we are. If the implement, yeah.
Right.
Maybe
so I believe it's the SP should clean them up. They are responsible for cleaning them up, because otherwise, well, we don't really get the handle yet, right? So we can see or cannot really go ahead clean those up.
Okay, so the yeah, I think the problem I was pointing out is that if the CO is not in a position to know what state the snapshot is in.
What do you mean CO doesn't know? Oh yeah, CO, right, you're right. CO doesn't know. Yeah.
Right.
SP is the only one who knows, right? Because SP is supposed to get everything, and then only if all are successful, then it resends successful. Otherwise.
Okay. So we're on the same page then. If the SP gets 9 out of 10 and can't get the 10th one, the SP has to notice that, and the SP has to clean everything up.
Right.
And as far as the CO is concerned, there was never a snapshot, right? It was just an error.
Because it can't, yeah, it can't go clean up individual ones for them. That's the thing, right? So it's like all or nothing.
Yeah, it's just a question of who's responsible for the error handling? So
Yeah, this one is a little tricky, right? We have never done something like this before, so.
okay. All right, well, so Xing, do you want to go through this one and figure out if there's any changes that are needed to the existing snapshot language?
Okay, yeah, I
And
can
then,
look. Oh, your question is for the like existing volume snapshot. You're saying those needs to be, we need to fix.
yeah, I
Not
think,
just for the new thing, not just for the new
I
groups.
think the submitter was trying to copy language, and I was pointing out how it didn't make sense. And then he said, well, we already have this language. So I think we just need to make sure that it's consistent and accurate.
Okay, yeah, I will take another look of this.
Okay.
I'll just add that to my 2-minute list.
Okay, so going down to the next one, we've got fixed lifecycle and controller unpublished descriptions. This one, some comments here.
Okay, I responded back. So this is a really old one. I responded a whole year ago. Yeah, this one is related to the underlying force detach problem, where when a node goes away, we short circuit the regular state machine of doing the node unpublished, node unstage before doing controller unpublished. Right. This is encoded into Kubernetes today, and it's the source of all kinds of bugs that plague us in GDCH land. And so we keep saying, well, it would be nice if we had a proper force detach, but that's a heavy lift. So we actually have Rohit's change to add a new command line arg to Kube Controller Manager that disables the 6-minute timeout, which is the underlying source of the spec violation. Right, the 6-minute timeout. So if we remove that, then Kubernetes will stop violating the spec. At least specify that arg, and then this whole problem, in theory, just becomes one of, how do you deal with the real situation when a node goes away and you want to force detach the volume, and we already have a bunch of proprietary solutions to that problem. Yeah. So do we need to do anything here?
Yeah, it sounds like if we remove the behavior from the Kubernetes side, then this PR becomes irrelevant.
Yeah, I think the specific PR does. We still have the larger problem. Let me see what he was trying to change with the.
I think this PR was just documenting that, hey, this happens sometimes where you could go from one of these states directly into.
Right. But we don't want the CSI spec to say this is okay, right? Because it's not. Yeah. That's the whole thing. We want to say that this is really a Kubernetes problem, not a CSI problem.
Yep.
And that someday CSI might implement a better way. But that's a heavy lift.
You want to put a comment there, Ben, just to say what the current state is and that we're holding off on this until we get more clarity on the Kubernetes.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I can put a note on. Let me write myself to do that.
Okay.
And the next one is all the way back to Deep's old work on runtime assisted mounting. And
he's not. I don't think he's working. I actually see an update from him. Just I think someone pinged him on that enhancement in Kubernetes. I see he was saying, oh, they run into some performance issues during testing, so he's no longer working on it.
I see.
Yeah,
I think.
But I mean, I'm wondering who else has this problem and is motivated to push for a solution. So do we have a flavor of this in GDCH?
Yeah. I think it's something we've discussed. It's a way to be able to optimize performance for VM mounting potentially.
Okay, so we do have the problem where you want to mount a volume and then hand it to a VM.
Yep.
But
Yeah, I think this would be a nice to have. It's not a
But
burning issue right now, but
how is it different than just using raw block volumes everywhere? I'm trying to remember. Because
um,
if the volume is for a VM, like KubeVirt will just use a raw block volume, right, and plumb it through. So then you can use the CSI raw block attach and get all the semantics you want. Oh, I guess the problem was if there is a file system on that raw block volume and the file system is inside the VM, and then you do
correct.
something like an expand, like now no one's going to handle the other end of that expand.
Yep. And potentially if you have something like a VM running on top of Kubernetes, you could, instead of doing the mount on the host file system, like somehow plumb it through in a different way where it effectively only gets mounted into the guest.
Yeah. Okay, but I guess we have acceptable workarounds at other layers, and we don't need to change Kubernetes. We don't need to change CSI
I think
for
it's
any of our
more of
use
a
cases.
somebody will need to come back and pick this up, and whether it requires CSI changes or not, TBD.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't want to dig. I don't want to dig any farther into the history of
Yeah.
PRs because we've already gone back a whole year. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's these 6 that represent the work from the last year.
Yep.
So if we can get a motion on all these, then I think we'll be doing our jobs of keeping things active, and anything that's older than that is just lost in the lost to history because probably the submitters are all gone. It's been more than a year.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, so I have one AI to update that one. Oh, I have 2 AIs. I also need to find the thread with James and poke him with CBT stuff. I'll go do those 2 things.
Okay. Oh, I just found the Deep's comment 2 days ago. He said we run into some significant challenges with the POC of this at scale.
I see. So it sounds like they've abandoned the approach, and if somebody else
Well-
wants to pick it up, they'll have to start.
Well, hold on. So is the suggestion that Deep is still working on this, and he just
No,
Just-
he's not. Okay, so let me put this in the, okay, maybe in the agenda. Let's see, what's our agenda? Just add so you can see that.
But I mean, it is Deep at Apple. Is that correct?
Yeah. Okay, so this
Okay,
is
so-
Deep's comment. Oh, sorry, this one. Deep's comment on runtime assessment. I added in the agenda. So if you want to chat with him and see what exactly are the problems he's talking about. Yeah, it sounds like they run into some problems while trying to implement this as a POC.
Well, that doesn't surprise me. But when did he discover problems, and what did they do in response?
Basically, someone was asking me if he's still working on this cap. He said, I'm not at this point.
Okay. Oh, I see. So he's
Yeah.
abandoned it.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
didn't explain when
This
they
is
had the
already-
problems and
yeah.
when they abandoned it.
This is already I think because he has not updated this for so long, right? So it basically kind of got the rotten
Okay.
closed automatically. Someone was asking him.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's too bad
Yeah.
because I think Deep was doing some valuable work.
Yeah. We haven't seen him
That's
for a
fantastic.
very long time. Yeah. When was the last time he was working on this? It's been quite a while.
It was a year ago when he was pushing this one, and then he just stopped. So that was probably when they ran into scale problems and decided they were going to do something else. So, okay, all right. I don't have anything else for today.
Cool. Thank you
Thanks
so
for
much.
adding. Thanks for adding that link.
Okay.
All right. We'll catch you next time then. Take care.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.